With the coronavirus pandemic sweeping its way across the United States, a lot of Americans are out of work right now, and certainly financial problems are existing for a lot of people right here in the state of Ohio. So we have the president of Richland Bank with us, Chris Hiner, joining us. How's life for you right now?
Trying to get used to a new normal, figure out this whole thing where we're not immune to the whole system, and so appreciate you having me on to talk a little bit.
Well, with so many individuals and businesses really struggling for money right now, cash flow is a big problem. What are you guys doing as a bank to help out the clients that are really hurting the most?
Well, ultimately, we're empathetic. Again, there's a lot of uncertainty and a lot of challenges that hit a lot of different people, businesses and individuals alike. So we've created some plans for consumer relief and business relief to help get through these uncertain times.
Hey, Chris, it's Don. Hey, with the changes you have implemented at your branches to protect both your employees and contractors and customers from contracting or spreading coronavirus, can you tell us a little bit about your new policies and procedures?
A little over a week into our appointment and drive-through strategy, so anything that can be done through a drive-through or electronically or mailed away, we're encouraging that and trying to limit the appointments. And when we do have face-to-face appointments, we're using social distancing because the safety of everyone, our associates and our clients, are critically important. I was thinking back, if we were thinking 15 years ago, we wouldn't have half the technology or maybe even a third of the technology that we have today. We wouldn't be having this interview in this format that we're having currently. So technology is definitely our friend in these trying times.
Yes.
Yeah, so obviously you're doing some new things to make sure that your customers are safe, to make sure that your employees are safe, at least protected as well as they can be from the coronavirus. What are you doing, though, to keep morale high? Obviously, anxiety is at an all-time new levels for a lot of your employees, I imagine, unprecedented times. How are you keeping smiles on faces and making sure that people are still enjoying coming to the workplace or working from home, wherever they're stationed?
Communication is key in that, making sure we're sharing success stories, because we are doing a lot of business during this time. So sharing those success stories or creative ways to help serve our clients more. And so that would be one thing. Earlier in the week, too, I sent out an email just when we were going through changes at a rapid pace to put reflection back on the attitude of gratitude. And I just said a simple question. I said, what are you grateful for? And then I shared that out a few days later with our associates, and some of the responses were pretty impressive, from our IT professionals to be able to get people to work remotely for such a period of time, to their family, to different associates stepping up in different roles. That's probably something I'm most excited or proud of, is to see the people that are stepping up in finding ways to serve our clients in unique situations, to say the least.
Now that brings us into our next question, Chris. Richland Bank is such a charitable and gracious organization. Are you continuing any of these charitable relationships? Are you developing new relationships with the community during this time?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, being empathetic and listening and finding ways to help. Yesterday we had a conference call, a video call. Brady Groves from the foundation, Dan Varn, our media partners, and Dennis Fox, Beth Delaney from ES Consulting and Spherion, just trying to find ways to share hope and to find ways to help our community, because we're not naive to the fact that there are going to be people in businesses that are suffering. We got to be able to step up, because we're only as strong as our weakest link, and the more we can help each other, the better we're going to be. I mean, you know as well as anyone that Mansfield and Richland County is a pretty resilient area, and so we'll get through this, and we'll learn something from it, and we'll be better on the other side.
To take that one step further, Chris, do you feel like this could actually create some positives for the banking industry in terms of having to look at new ways to communicate with customers via the technology like what we're using now? Is this something that actually you can be excited about, what's to come in the future?
Yeah, well, just we've had an online home loan application, mortgage loan application for probably a year and a half. online account opening we've had for a period of time. And there's been varying levels of engagement with that, but now being asked to use that as an alternative to sitting face to face is as people get comfortable with that, I think that they'll enjoy what they're seeing and how they're interacting. I mean, we're still humans. We still enjoy that sit down face to face, but with time being of the essence and people wanting to be served at a rapid pace, sometimes this does expedite the process a little bit.
Obviously, it looks like you're at your office there now. You're still able to get out and you're providing an essential service. But at home, with the social distancing, obviously, we're not communicating in big groups. We're not having people over to our home. What is something that you have learned about yourself and your family? Or what's something new that you have taken away from the new way that we are living our lives at home?
I've seen some neighbors walking through the neighborhood that I hadn't seen before, and that shame on me for that in some ways. I'm also really proud of my wife. She had a customer of ours that called and asked to make masks for his essential business, and so she's at home in front of a sewing machine with making 200 masks.
Nice.
A week and a half ago, we didn't own a sewing machine, so she went and bought one and started learning how to sew again. So,
Nice.
that's something I'm proud of, and the kids have been able to enjoy each other being out of school. So we've been out in the woods enjoying nature and unplugging from technology, because as much as it's a benefit, sometimes it can be the weight of technology and the weight of information coming is almost too fast. So unplugging a little bit has been a good thing for our family.
Now, Chris, as president of Richland Bank, give the community a message from your institution. Tell the community, give them some hope moving forward.
Yeah, well, I mean, we're a resilient community. We're in this together. Help your neighbors while being socially distant is critically important. And lend an ear. Make sure you check on the elderly and those that are vulnerable. And just because we're socially distant doesn't mean we have to be antisocial. There's ways to do that, and I encourage you to do that, because sometimes just a smile or a phone call goes a long way.
Awesome. Hey guys, can we get a selfie with the TV here? Let's
why
get
not,
Chris, you
Chris?
mind taking a selfie with us?
How we do this thing.
Perfect, Chris.
All right, man. That was my first ever Zoom
You
selfie.
can edit out my cheeks a little bit. I'd appreciate it.
We'll add a filter, man. We'll clean it up, and we'll make sure that we look real good before it hits the presses, man. Thank you so much for joining us today,
Thank you,
Chris. It sounds like, obviously, even though this is weird, different economic times that we're experiencing, a lot of positives to be taken away from it.
If we can help you guys, let us know anyway.
Thank you so much. Take care. So obviously, I think kind of what I took from that is that technology, man, it's a good thing that this pandemic is going on in 2020, where we have all the use of the different ways that we can connect. And that's ways that Richland Bank, it looks like, still staying engaged with their clientele. You know, not a lot's changing outside of you can't go into the bank, but it seems like, maybe some positives can be taken away from
I
this,
think
Donnie.
this is a very positive time for the bank. Do you remember the Y2K?
Oh, absolutely.
Was that early 2000s?
With the computer, with the new digit was going to
Could
change.
you imagine this happening during Y2K, during that generation, during that time? How could they function, right? So being able to video conference with, the president of the bank, having him give a message to the community that everything is okay, we're continuing our services. The only big differences are maybe the lobby is closed, you got to come in by appointment only. I think what technology is doing for us is wonderful. It's perfect.
And it sounds like even creating some new services, maybe some exciting things are going to come out of the banking industry as a result of this. So COVID-19, not completely bad, Don.
Not completely bad. I didn't ask, are you sanitizing your ATMs? What's going on here?
Good point.
So we have to be extra careful, extra cautious, and I'm sure they are. But I really appreciate his time.